guys, welcome to another recap of Survivor Caramoan. Another pretty good episode. Stealth R Us is dead. Rest in peace, P. Hillip. I hope, when he showed up for Tribal Council tonight, I was kind of hoping he would show up in that underwear, but he didn't. He had real clothes on. Real clean clothes. New clothes. Alright, so Eric, he's pretty much thinking he's got an important part in the tribe right now because he kind of thinks he's the swing vote. And he kind of is, everyone's starving though. And poor Brenda has a little bit of a breakdown. She's really starving, and it really hit home with me when she was crying and they're like, oh, Brenda, you gotta stay hydrated, drink your water. They gave her this jar of water to drink that looked like it came out of a toilet, for crying out loud. It was brown. Alright, it's the $500 Survivor food auction, and everybody loves this. I always look forward to this. First, right out of the gate, $20 from Malcolm for beer and peanuts. But wait, it's 3 beers, and it's not just peanuts, it's pretzels. $180 for a sliced pizza. Well, that's not how it went down. First, it was a covered dish. And then Jeff was like, hey, Reynolds, do you want to pick this one or this one? So he gave up the rotten coconut, unbeknownst to him, but he also gave up a whole pizza. So he ended up with just one slice of pizza. And $500 from Sherry bought the rest of the pizza. $500 from Dawn bought a whole chicken, which was the size of a pigeon. It was really small. Malcolm, for $480, bought information, 60 seconds worth of information, a clue to the hidden immunity idol. Actually, it was like pretty much a description of where it was. Andrea, she paid $280 for a covered dish, which turned out to be a pasta dinner, but Jeff put the guilt trip on her and said, you can either eat this, or you could get rice and beans for the entire tribe. So of course she caved and got rice and beans. No good deed goes unrewarded, Andrea. They're just going to vote you off. I would have been like, I'm having the pasta. No, I'm sure I would have taken the rice and beans. How can you look at those starving people and not do that? Cochran paid $340 for an advantage in the immunity challenge. And Brenda finally decided to get her feet in the water, paid $300 for pig brain. It didn't look good. Alright, and then the old love letters from home, $20. Reynolds paid for them. It seemed like everybody got them, even though Jeff was like, you're not getting one, or you're not getting... I don't know, I think everybody got it. And Eddie, he got the last item, and he paid $200 for a giant vat of peanut butter for everyone to share in 60 seconds. That was a hell of a lot of peanut butter. I'm amazed at that. One of the guys was like, how did you get that in there? He poured it in. Alright, so back at camp, Jeff was like, give these out at home. He probably didn't want to see the big cry fest at, hey, let them take it back to camp. I don't want to see that. So everybody was crying. Cochran was crying. Brenda was beside herself. It was really emotional. I teared up a little bit as well. So now the Pretty Boy Alliance, they're recruiting. They're looking to capture Sherry and Eric on their side. I don't know. Malcolm, he's looking for the idol. He got up early. He's going to use that clue that he spent $480 for. But Andrea, what's going on, Malcolm? She shows up with Cochran, just as he's starting to dig. And he's like, oh, nothing. They hang out for a while, Cochran goes back, but Andrea is on him like white on rice. So he's got to go home. He's got no choice. It's the immunity challenge time, and it's an endurance. You have to hold a rope that's holding a log, and it's got progressive knots. So as you go down the rope, it gets heavier and heavier every 5 minutes. Now Cochran's advantage was that at any point you can move up 2 knots. It's a pretty good advantage. So he used it after the first two. So he essentially went back to the beginning. Brenda was out first, followed by Eric, a bunch of other people. It came down to Reynolds versus Eddie versus Cochran. Cochran won. It's crazy. Did you ever think Cochran would win in immunity? That's endurance. All right, so the pretty boys are working hard to recruit Sherry and Eric. Uh-oh, hot dog. It's time for tribal. Reynolds says, Jeff, I don't think it's anymore the 6-on-3. Sherry has doubts. Malcolm, he has clue to the idol. Or does he have the idol? Eric, he also had doubts. Should I stick with my alliance or should I flip? So everybody's getting really tense with all this flip talk. It's time to vote. Miraculously, no idol was played because Malcolm never got it. And it's a 3-way tie. That was pretty shocking. Malcolm versus Reynolds versus Andrea. I guess nobody flipped. So, since the revote, if no one flips, it was basically only Sherry voting for, out of the loop if she chose to vote that way, and Malcolm was voted off. Woo, that was cool. He was pretty surprised. Maybe not surprised, but disappointed. So next time, is it the beginning of the end for the 6? Till next time, much love.